All right, let's jump right in. We're going to be talking about something that's, frankly, becoming absolutely essential for every single workplace in Canada: Indigenous data sovereignty and how it connects with the future of AI.
You've probably heard this phrase before, right? Nothing about us without us. It's simple, but it is so powerful. And honestly, it's the heart of everything we're going to talk about today.
Okay, so here's the big question. We see AI just exploding everywhere. It's transforming our world. But how do we make sure that this incredible technology actually honors this fundamental right? What does that even look like when we're talking about data and tech? Let's dig in.
To really get where we are now, we have to look back. We have to understand the history here, specifically how data has been collected from Indigenous communities in the past.
You know, for decades and decades, data about Indigenous peoples was basically just taken. It was gathered by outside authorities, and there was often zero consultation. And the communities themselves, they rarely saw any benefit. This wasn't just, harmless number crunching. It was an extractive process. It led to really harmful policies, stereotypes, and you can imagine a deep sense of mistrust. Information was taken, it was never a partnership.
And look, this is not a new problem. This quote right here, from the Royal Commission on Aboriginal Peoples, it's from 1999. That's decades ago. It shows that this resistance, this pushback against imposed data collection has been a core part of the fight for self-determination for a very long time.
Okay, so fast forward to today. Now we've got these incredibly powerful AI tools. And what does that do? Well, it introduces a whole new set of massive risks. We're talking about the potential to amplify all those historical harms, but on a scale we've never seen before.
But it's not all doom and gloom. In response to all these challenges, both old and new, Indigenous leaders have developed something incredibly powerful. It's the concept of Indigenous data sovereignty.
So what is it exactly? Well, at its core, Indigenous data sovereignty is the right of Indigenous peoples to control their own data, period. We're talking about everything from how it's collected to who owns it and how it's used. It's a total game changer, flipping the script from being subjects of study to being true partners.
And let's be super clear here. This isn't just some nice idea or a best practice. This is a fundamental right. It's directly linked to self-determination, and it's recognized in the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, which, by the way, has been adopted into Canadian law, so this has real teeth.
When you get down to it, this is what it's all about. It's about empowering communities to take back the narrative, to tell their own stories, using their own data. It's about using that information in ways that truly benefit their people, ways that are deeply connected to culture, to land, and to the future.
Okay, so that's the big idea, but how does it actually work? Like, in the real world? Well, let's look at a really important Canadian framework called OCAP.
OCAP stands for Ownership, Control, Access, and Possession. These 4 principles create a super clear, practical standard. It's a roadmap for making sure that any data related to First Nations isn't just collected, but is managed in a way that truly respects their collective rights and their interests. It's all right there in the name.
Now, you might notice that OCAP has that little R symbol next to it. It's a registered trademark. And that's not just some legal footnote. It's actually a really powerful move to protect these principles from being watered down or misused. It underlines just how serious and legitimate this framework is.
All right, so now for the really exciting part. What happens when you put these principles into action? Let's check out some of the amazing, inspiring innovation and Indigenous-led technology that's happening right now.
We're seeing Indigenous communities not just reacting to technology, but actively shaping it. They're building tools from the ground up, based on their own knowledge systems, their own values, and their own rights. This is way beyond just policy papers. This is about building a totally different future for tech.
And this isn't just talk. It's really happening. You've got amazing projects like First Voices, which is a fantastic online platform helping to preserve Indigenous languages. There's nativeland.ca, which is an incredible resource for understanding territories and history. And then you have groups like One Feather and the Indigenous Protocol and AI Working Group, who are literally building the tools and guiding the conversation for the future. These are real solutions right now.
Whoa, okay, let's pause on this quote for a second because it is a mind-bender. We don't have an AI ethics problem, we have an AI epistemology problem. Now, epistemology is a big word, but it just means how we know what we know. It's about our core understanding of knowledge and intelligence. So what Jason Edward Lewis is saying here is
profound. The issue with AI isn't just about fixing some bias in the code. The deeper problem is that the entire concept of intelligence that AI is built on is super narrow, and it often completely ignores other equally valid ways of knowing from around the world. So the big idea, the big hope, is this. If we can build AI by weaving in all these diverse worldviews, we can create technology that does more than just calculate. We can build AI that actually supports community and care and abundance. And that's not just a win for Indigenous communities, that's a win for everybody.
And that really brings it all back home, doesn't it? This question isn't just for the big tech companies or for governments. It's for you, it's for me, it's for all of us, in our jobs, in our workplaces. So the question to leave you with is, how are you going to be a partner in this? How are you going to help build a future where technology truly uplifts and empowers everyone?